And now it is going back down again, 600. So we've gone from 1,000 or more. What was it, like 1,700? I'm not sure what the lowest was for the futures, to plus 500, and now back minus 600 and counting. So everyone is trying to clarify. Everyone is following what's going on here. Everyone is calling their person. Everyone is calling, trying to figure out what the fuck. What is Donald Trump doing?
Hey, Don, I'm sorry to cut in. We got some breaking news.
Yes,
I
from
just got
Aaron.
some elements. So what we're thinking now is that apparently a CNBC anchor about 10, 15 minutes ago misread a quote from Hassant, one of the spokespeople for the White House, and read on air that Trump was considering a 90-day pause on all of these tariffs. However, I want to reiterate again, it was a misread of a statement that Hassant made on Fox and Friends more than 2 hours ago. So literally, that's why we're now back in the red. A CNBC anchor misread a quote from a White House official. There was as Sam Stein at the Bulwark puts it, there was a social media inspired boomlet in the market. And then after 10 minutes, when folks realized, oh, no, there is no pause, this is just a mistake, we're now back in the red.
What the actual fuck? Don't we have that thing where he misread this morning? Is that what we have?
Yes,
There's a soundbite of it this morning because
correct.
he's standing on the White House lawn.
Correct. That's, I believe, what the CNBC anchor misread.
Let's play it. Do we have it, Andy?
You do a 90-day pause. Would you consider that?
Or Bill, yeah, I think that the president is going to decide what the president's going to decide. There are more than 50 countries in negotiation with the president. We've got the prime minister of Israel coming today. We've had a reach out overnight from Taiwan. And but I would urge everyone, especially Bill, to ease off the rhetoric a little bit. The fact is that say 10% baseline tariff is on what, 14% of GDP. That's about how much trade we have, how many imports. And so 86% of GDP is affected by the deregulation and the tax cuts and everything else. And even if you think, and I think a lot of us at the White House think that these economic responses are exaggerated by critics, even if you think that there will be some negative effect from the trade side, that's still a small share of GDP. And so the idea that it's going to be a nuclear winter or something like that is completely irresponsible rhetoric.
Okay, I'm not sure what I get out of that, but I'm just getting news that this 90-day pause, the White House is saying now it's fake. So, Andy, let's put those numbers back up. The White House now saying that 90-day pause, and I want to put the stock market numbers back up so you can see that 90-day pause is fake. And now the market is down by 700 and it is continuing to go down. Now, the weird thing is that this misinterpretation or whatever, or misreading from someone on Fox News, I believe that it may have helped the market because it stopped the free flow for a minute and a free fall for a minute. And then until people start to realize, like, oh my God, this is not real, this is fake, it's going to continue to go down. So here we are. So remember, it went down 1,700 points. Well, it actually went down before Donald Trump on Wednesday. He did his little speech and announcement after the markets closed on purpose because he did not want you to see in real time the markets sinking after he made his announcements on tariffs. Then on Thursday, the market was down some 1,700 points. And then it was down like 2,000 points on Friday, I believe. And then the futures fell over the weekend, where people are freaking out saying, oh my God, Asia is now down 8%. This is down 3%. That is down whatever percent. And now here we are at the breaking news, the market tanking, but then there's this fake boomlet. And now the White House is saying, there ain't no pause for 90 days. We're not considering. And I'm so glad that we said considering a pause for 90 days reportedly, because then we would be a part of what? The BS factor. So look, here we are where we began. And this is indicative of this administration: turmoil, chaos, misinformation, uncertainty. We don't know. They don't know what they're doing. Did Kevin Hassett say something wrong, or was it misinterpreted? Did you guys get it from that soundbite, producers?
Yeah. So my understanding, Don, is that again, that interview was over 2 hours ago. And then an account on Twitter in the last, say, 20 minutes clipped it and wrote the quote either incorrectly or wrote it in such a way that then a CNBC anchor, as he's on air, he's scrolling through his phone and says to the, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of investors who are listening, that Trump is considering a 90-day pause, which again, as we just listened, is not what Hassett said on the White House lawn, again, 2 hours ago.
Hassett.
Hassett, excuse me. And so that created, as you put it, as Sam Stein put it, a 15 or so minute boomlet. And then everyone realized, wait, there is no such statement. There is no such 90-day pause being considered. And now
But
we're
it's
back in the red.
But it's amazing though, because everyone is so tense and everyone is paying attention to everything. So the folks in the business, right, of stocks, they are actually listening to this. They're sitting around watching the mainstream media. They're looking at the corporate media, and then those guys screw it up. What is going to be the repercussions for those guys doing this? Is that market manipulation by them? Because we're saying, hey, the Trump folks, if they're doing this, this is market manipulation. Well, it turns out it's not necessarily the Trump people who are doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Peter? So what gives here? What gives here? Who can you believe at this point? If you have an administration that you can't really believe, and then you've got the folks in the mainstream media screwing it up. This is a whole kind of crazy circle. You got the White House and the administration. Can't believe them. Uncertainty. You don't know. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Then you turn it on to the corporate media, Fox, CNBC, whatever. Usually CNBC plays it down the middle, right? They try to play it down the middle. And then they screw up. And then you got a social media screw up. And then on top of that, it's not a trifecta. It's a, what do you call it? A fourfecta, whatever you want to call it. Because then you have the market and the folks on Wall Street reacting to this. And now they're like, oh my God, this is great. Let's buy, let's sell, let's good, buy, let's sell, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the market is back down again. Please go. What do we have?
So just moments ago, I think it was less than 5 minutes ago, the White House tweeted out from their official account that any rumors, any musings about a 90-day pause are, quote, wrong and, quote, fake news. So get ready for those markets to continue tumbling.
How do you feel about that? Don't you think now you want some better help? I know I do. After that, oh my gosh, guys. Trump is reportedly expecting to announce a 90-day tariff pause. All of this is fake going around. That's why, remember I told you, again, I'm never going to lie to you. And then now the official rapid response team from the White House says wrong, fake news. Here's the thing. When I tell you I'm never going to lie to you, I don't. I said we were late because we're trying to figure out exactly what was happening with the markets. Right? We're saying, wait, what is going on with the markets? Let's make sure. And then all of a sudden, just as we were about to go on the air, Peter said, wait, hold on a minute. Something weird just happened with the markets. And I said, okay, we got to stand by now. There's something weird with the markets. All of a sudden, it's being reported this 90-day pause in tariffs. And then as we're going on, we're like, wait a minute, it's reported. We don't know. There's no confirmation. And so that is what's happening right now. So everything, look, this is ever since I've been doing this with Donald Trump, since he's been in office, every time we do it, we go on, when I was at CNN, we go on, we'd have an entire show planned. And then all of a sudden, just 15 seconds before air, oh shit, Donald Trump just said he's got COVID. I mean, just on and on. Things like that happened. And now it was a report of tariffs, and now is a report of tariffs not happening. Okay, let's put this up. I'm getting some breaking news from the producers. Okay, so this tweet from a moronic verified rando just resulted in a $4 trillion stock market swing. And that is from Peter Twinklage, who is Peter here on the show. Hassett, Trump is considering a 90-day pause in tariffs for all countries except China. And that caused a $4 trillion swing.
So what happened on
$4 trillion, Peter.
on Elon Musk's Twitter, where he decided a little over a year ago to make verification, identity verification, not just something for public figures and for real people, but something that you can buy for just a couple of dollars. A random person whose last name just happens to be Bloomberg bought himself a verified account. He then proceeded to tweet out his, let's say, I'm trying to be kind here, rather uninformed understanding of an interview on Fox News.
Ignorant.
One might say boneheaded. And then this CNBC reporter, who, let's be honest, is not entirely innocent with all this too, is sitting on live television, swiping through Twitter, sees the word Bloomberg next to the verified check, and reads this out as if it's verified reporting from, of course, Bloomberg. And that caused $4 trillion of market movement. $4 trillion first gained and then lost in a matter of 10 minutes.
You got to be fucking kidding me. Is this real?
It's real.
I'm just wondering if this whole world that we live in right now is real.
I'm not usually one to say that I believe in simulation theory. You know, the idea that we're all little characters in a video game created by a far more intelligent species, that we're all like already living in an algorithmic AI space. But it certainly feels like that today.
Guys, seriously, did you hear what Peter just explained? This is, you know, when I talk about, well, content moderation and you should be responsible for what you put on your platform, and right. So content moderation perhaps would have gotten rid of the fake blue check unless you actually are someone with some knowledge, right? You should be able to moderate that rather than selling people blue checks. The same thing is that we can fix the immigration problem that we have. We can moderate things rather than offering people a $5 million gold card just to be able to come into the country. It's all the, I mean, it's kind of all the same kinds of people who think like being able to have people buy into certain things, that makes it okay. That if you can buy into something, then that somehow gives you legitimacy. The money and the payment gives you access and legitimacy. When that's not necessarily so. So Walter Bloomberg, they thought, oh, this is from Bloomberg News. Unbelievable. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.